It's been mowing for 3 straight days, and this is all that was underneath my deck. That's it. Now, obviously, that's, not perfect, and that's why I cleaned it out. But part of that is because I have a mulch kit, so it just keeps spinning everything up there constantly until it just either falls out or disappears. But whatever gets stuck up on the deck is just like paste. It's just the thickest paste, especially when it's wet. It's even worse. But also when it's wet, some of the clumps will come out like as you get off when you're done with the property, and you direct it like off to the corner of the driveway, or off to the corner of the street or something, so it's not right in everyone's way. And usually some clumps will just plop out there, and then you can just hit them with the blower after, and spread it all out off into the part of the grass that no one really sees, and it's perfectly fine. But for the most part, it just stays up in there forever, and it just little by little breaks itself down. But the other thing is because of the leaves. So it's fall, there's leaves everywhere, falling everywhere. So just about every property that I'm on, there's leaves either in the yard, as you know, that I blow in there, mulch them up with whatever else is in there, or there's yards along the property line. If there's woods, which just about everyone has some tree. I think everyone's pretty much required to have a certain amount of trees, at least 1 or 2 trees. But if they, a lot of people have these natural trees and woods, and there's leaves that accumulate there. So what you can do is just come up to here at the end when you're done with the property. There's not a lot of leaves here anymore because I already hit this up. But usually there's a big pile of leaves here, and especially when it's dry, it almost acts as like eating salad for your system, as funny as that sounds. It's roughage for your mower deck, so it cleans it out. So the leaves get all up in there and stir around and break up, and it's so brittle that it actually kind of scrubs the inside of the deck the more you do it. Obviously, if it's wet, the leaves are wet, if the grass is wet, the deck is wet, it's not going to be as good than if it's dry like today. I mean, some things are still damp, but the leaves are drying up, and underneath the deck is relatively dry, so leaves can really knock a lot of that stuff out. So just remember that if you have properties with leaves, even if you have a bunch of properties that don't have woods like this anywhere near it, and they only have a couple of baby trees that only have a little bit of leaves now that are gone, or whatever, they blew away, you don't have them, just think of what property you do have woods like this. Find the pile of leaves, even if you have to go into the woods a little bit. The bonier the better. The more roughage the better. You don't want to go into mulch beds and chop that up and dull up your blades, but just go into all this loose stuff, all this stuff, still damp, but when it's nice and dry, your mower will just suck this up, whether you have a mulch kit or not. It's gonna, because I did this when I had my walk behind, when I used only my walk behind before I got my grandstand, and that had an open chute, and I just would come up here and just suck it up and shoot it back out, and just keep going back up, and just keep doing that until like the leaves were gone. And I would look under the deck, and there was nothing under there. There would be a thin film, obviously, that you still have to scrape out and clean out. But as far as clumps and things that are going to interfere with the airflow of your deck and the cutting quality, the leaves help knock it all out. So yes, I have a mulch kit that definitely helps, but even without a mulch kit, hit those leaves and it keeps your deck clean every day, keeps it cleaner every day, so you don't have to get under there after every yard and scrape all the clumps out after every yard. That's all that I had. 3 days, didn't scrape a single day, didn't scrape once in those 3 days, and that's all that's left under there now, because I make sure I hit the leaves every single day, if not on every property. Whenever I see leaves on a property that isn't going to be mulched up already, if I see them off to the side like this, I just go right over there, and when I'm all done cutting everything, and I just mulch away and get those leaves all chopped up and clean underneath my deck. That's your pro tip.